Nothing brings out the player spirit in an MMORPG like a world event. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 biggest events that happened in World of Warcraft. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the massive official events that involved unique situations, locations, bosses, and other in-game elements that were only available for a limited time. As fascinating as it is, we won't be including the Corrupted Blood incident, since it wasn't an official event, and more of a weird virtual pandemic that happened by accident. Number 10. Elemental Unrest. Cataclysm had many events leading up to its release. The Elemental Unrest was just one of them, and it was a multi-phase event that culminated in players from both factions defending their capital cities from angry elementals. To successfully complete the event, players had to work together to defeat a specific number of elite elements that came from rifts that popped up around the city, as well as free any NPCs they came across. Once the invasion had been repelled, the players got the chance to return the favor and hunt down a unique boss, the appropriately named Kaiju Gazrilla. Revenge tastes oh so sweet. Number 9. Legion Invasion. The Burning Legion is back at it again, and this time they brought more friends to play with. In a similar style to other pre-launch events, several zones would come under attack, and then it would be up to the players to band together and repel the invaders. This involved killing several waves of enemies, blowing up towers, and fighting a big boss at the end. This was also the first event that allowed players as low as level 10 to participate, which was meant to demonstrate the level scaling mechanic that was a prominent feature in the Legion expansion.
I need to target something first.
Number 8. Operation Gnomergan and Zalazane's Fall. The second event to take place before the launch of Cataclysm made some big moves lore-wise for the series. It involved retaking two capitals that, up until that point, were under the control of rebel factions. The Alliance aided High Tinker Gelbin in taking back the surface of Gnomergan from the Leper Gnomes, while the Horde fought alongside Vol'jin to reclaim the Echo Isles from the traitorous Zalazane. The hard work was not for nothing though, as it resulted in brand new starting zones for the playable gnomes and trolls, who can finally enjoy their own capital cities.
One someday, we'll be waiting for ya on the other side.
Number 7. World of Warcraft 10th Anniversary. Anyone who's played World of Warcraft has no doubt heard of the PvP wars in Hillsbrad Foothills and the old Molten Core raid that required 40 players to conquer. Blizzard sought to rekindle those fond memories with the 10th anniversary, which introduced a new battleground, Tarren Mills vs. South Shore, and a level 100 version of the Molten Core raid. These two instances were made available only for the duration of the anniversary, but they rewarded players with unique titles, mounts, and pets. It was a nice way to relive those epic moments, even if it was just for a little while. Number 6. The Battle for Sun's Reach.
And so I joined him in Outland, pledging to return one day to lead our people to glory.
One of the more famous events during the Burning Crusade expansion. This one had players aiding the Shattered Sun offensive in taking back the Isle of Kel'Danas from a renegade Blood Elf faction, as well as the Burning Legion. This event took place through repeatable quests that players would complete daily, each milestone resulting in another captured piece of territory. It also opened up a new dungeon for players to fight through, and eventually, Blizzard released the final raid of the expansion, the Sunwell Plateau, which became one of the hardest raids in the game at the time.
I have forged a new alliance. Soon, the blessed rays of the Sunwell will shine once again.
Number 5. The War of Thorns.
You've already won. Only innocents remain in the tree. This is war. No. This is hatred.
Technical difficulties aside, Battle for Azeroth has delivered on the promise of all-out war. Sylvanas, in what seems to be a moment of pure anger and hatred, sets the World Tree on fire.
Burn it!
The War of Thorns was players' first taste at the expansion's new War Mode feature, but gave a good amount of PvE content as well. This is the single most important event in the expansion so far, sending the peace-loving King Anduin over the edge.
For the Alliance!
Some fans reacted negatively to Sylvanas going full evil, but the event itself was magnificent, both from the Horde and Alliance perspectives. Number 4. Cataclysm. This is more of a unique entry because it's not really a limited event like the others on this list, at least not in the traditional sense. That being said, it changed the game in such a massive way that it simply had to be included. The Cataclysm was the result of the expansion's main villain, Deathwing, erupting from Deep Home to wreak havoc on the denizens of Azeroth. His reemergence resulted in most, if not all, of the old zones changing in some drastic way. Some were completely devastated, while others were filled with new life. For better or worse, we said goodbye to the old world and prepared to take on the new one. Number 3. The Scourge Invasion. The pre-launch period for the dreaded Naxxramas raid had players facing off against a fraction of the Lich King's vicious undead army. It was the very first invasion-style event, and set the precedent for many of the world events to follow. It largely involved hacking and slashing your way through hordes of ghouls in order to reach and destroy a big purple crystal, which would, in turn, take down the floating enemy stronghold. This event later reappeared as part of the lead-up event for the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, though with the added possibility of having players becoming zombies and infecting others around them. Number 2. The Dark Portal opens.
And now you dare enter my realm.
When it comes to hype, there are few events that could compare with the opening of the Dark Portal. It not only heralded the game's first expansion, it was also the Burning Legion's first major appearance within the game. It took place in the Blasted Lands that were suddenly under siege after the gateway to Outland, a stronghold for the demonic army, opened up. Much like the Scourge Invasion, this event was later reused for the Warlords of Draenor pre-launch event, though that one just had very angry orcs instead of very angry demons.
You are not prepared!
Number 1. Gates of AhnQiraj. There is no event in the history of World of Warcraft that's bigger than the opening of the Gates of AhnQiraj, and it required the cooperation of an entire server to complete. The first phase of the event required a single player from each faction to complete a long chain quest, while other players would gather supplies for the upcoming battle. When the gates opened, a 10-hour-long war ensued between players and the insectoid army that spewed forth. The rewards included a unique mount and access to the new and very difficult raid. Now that is one hell of an event. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.